Thank you very much for coming. It's so wonderful to see you. It got so quiet. All of a sudden, the room came down. It was amazing. We're very, very pleased that we have such a nice turnout, and we have quite a number of past David Awards who are here tonight, this morning, too. And thank you very, very much. The program will begin now, and it's... I'm Christine Kniff-Shayan, and for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm the founder and the CEO of Networking Magazine. We're now in our 20th year of publication, which is quite a milestone. I'm proud of that. So it's hard to imagine that 20 years have gone by, right? It's amazing. When the David Awards was created 9 years ago, the intent was to bring the public's attention to those individuals who reflect the virtues of a Renaissance men worthy of respect and admiration for their phenomenal gifts and talents, which we want to emulate. They also are men who give back. They do more than just their very important job, but they also are very important to the community and the welfare of the community. The late Dr. David Salton, a true Renaissance man, was a primary inspiration for those unique awards, and one of the 8 honorees at our inaugural breakfast in 2002. Dr. Salton served on our committee along with his wife Adrienne O'Brien, our Master of Ceremonies, and she's still with us. Bank of America has been the David Award presenting partner for the past 7 years. We remember the late Elena Perez, Senior Vice President, Long Island Market Developing Manager from the Bank of America, our past committee chair. And today, Lorraine Aycock, where are you, Lorraine? Lorraine Aycock, the Community Development Manager, Bank of America, continues the important work with the help of Monica Cavallo, under the direction of Robert Isaacson, President of the Long Island Market Bank of America. So. Partial proceeds from each David Award has benefited a local charity. To date, we have given almost $90,000 to various charities, with a different one each year. This year, we will benefit Bethany House in Roosevelt, serving women and children since 1978. We celebrate 8 individuals, each representing the top of his industry's pyramid, and each more than worthy of this honor. Our new Davids have many things in common: excellent management and people skills, vast business acumen, keen intelligence, and the ability to motivate others around a vision, with one of the greatest signature elements being their example from the top. They have created a like-minded network of others committed to the ideals of that humanitarian spirit. The David Award is about the spirit of giving. That is why we gather. That is why we all say thank you to these very special men for taking that personal risk of putting themselves out there and making a real difference in all our lives. Thank you all for coming. Now I'm pleased to introduce the woman who has been our MC for the past 7 years and does a fine job of keeping us on target, Dr. Adrienne O'Brien. She is the former Dean of Media and Arts at the New York Institute of Technology, where she began in the news programs that involve students in the community. One is the Long Island News Tonight, a local news program that trains electronic journalists. Both the Carlton Group and New Vision are student ad agencies that help Long Island nonprofit groups. Our Master of Ceremonies is no stranger to award ceremonies. She's been honored by the best of them: Women on the Job, the Girl Scouts, Patrons of the Arts, and the PR professionals of Long Island. She's one of LIBN's top 50 women, and we at Networking did a cover feature on her. She still keeps her day job as Professor of Communication Arts at NYIT. Please welcome Dr. Adrienne O'Brien.
Thank you, Christine. It's wonderful to be back again at the David Awards. When I got off the plane last night from Florida, I thought it was cold in Florida, and I had heard about the cold here. And then I thought about this morning, about the excitement, the warmth, the greetings, the hugs, the meetings that happened here in the lobby. And this morning was just like that. And so welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a breakfast that has become the premier opening of the New Year's social calendar on Long Island. And rightly so. You will meet 8 very special honorees and 8 very special women who will be introducing them to you. And this illustrates the commitment that our area has to community. Before the focus is on these men and women, we should not forget the person behind the idea, the founder and the publisher of Networking Magazine, Christine Sheehan. It's been 20 years now that Christine and Networking Magazine have been covering the good works of the not-for-profits on Long Island, covering the support that you give them, covering the philanthropic community, and covering the business community. And Networking Magazine is a leading resource for entrepreneurs, small business, and large corporate decision makers. You'll be taking home the January special issue of Networking Magazine. It's in your goodie bag. It is a certified woman-owned business by the New York State Department of Economic Development. And under Christine's leadership, in good times and in down times, Networking's mission as a business monthly remains the same: to bring readers the who's who and the what's what, and since '07, the what's green in our area. What a marvelous job its founder and publisher has done and continues to do. Let's hear it for Christine Kniff Sheehan. We're also honored to have with us past David Award recipients. I'd like to call the names and have you stand if you'd hold your applause until we finish the list. Henry Holley is with us, Dr. Dwight DeRisi, Frank Castagna, the Reverend Reginald Tuggle, Dr. Calvin O. Butts III, Dr. Aldustus Jordan is with us, Charles Strain, Thomas Poole, Paul Tona, Thomas Rosicki, Robert Pascucci, Ed Travagliante, and Bob Cattell. Would you stand and give David recipients? Has any David Award winner come in since that list? Okay. Dr. Shamash, I'm sorry, Jakov Shamash. Stand up. Sorry. I'd like you now to introduce the dais to you, and I'd ask you to hold your applause as well. On my far right, Robert Isaacson, President, Long Island Market, Bank of America. Tony Albanese, Attorney at Law. Anthony Albanese, Chairman, the Albanese Organization. Rosalind Goldmacher, President, CEO, Long Island Development Corporation, Greater New York Development Company. John D. Cameron, Jr., Founder, Managing Partner, Cameron Engineering and Associates. Susie Sonnenberg, former Executive Director, Long Island Community Foundation. Lawrence E. Davidow, Managing Partner, Davidow, Siegel and Stern. Yvette Beckett-Tuggle, Director of the Business Development Unit of Nassau County Office of Economic Development. Dr. Sean A. Finelli, President Emeritus, Nassau Community College. And on my left, Christine Kniff Sheehan, Founder, Publisher, Networking Magazine. Barbara Smith, Department of Surgery, Stony Brook University Medical Center. Dr. Martin S. Carpe, Chairman, Department of Surgery, Beth Israel Medical Center. Jan Matan, Vice President for Development and Communications, St. Mary's Healthcare Systems for Children. Vincent S. Riso, Principal, the Briarwood Organization. Susan Eckhart, Legislative Aide, Office of Legislator Lynn Noack. Dr. Stephen L. Strongwater, Chief Executive Officer, Stony Brook University Medical Center. Connie Lissandro, Director of Housing and Homeless Services, Nassau County. Maurice Mo Vaughn, American League Most Valuable Player, co-founder, Omni New York. Reverend Reginald Tuggle, Pastor, Memorial Presbyterian Church, Associate Vice President, Marketing and Communications, Nassau Community College. For the podium, please. Now if Pastor Reginald Tuggle would come and give us the invocation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. O'Brien. If you are able, would you please stand? In recent hours, the world has witnessed yet another tragedy upon the impoverished country of Haiti. Let us pause for just a moment and acknowledge God Almighty in this time of need in that part of the world, and for the millions of individuals who are impacted by this earthquake and this tragedy. Almighty God, as we are here today by your grace and your mercy, we are able to give you thanks and praise for this opportunity to gather and to celebrate the work and the lives and contributions of these individuals who have sacrificed much for the organizations that they serve. They have profited from their perseverance and leadership. We thank you for their innovation and especially for their effectiveness and success. Today, O Lord, we celebrate this event in the presence of a Long Island community brought together by the Networking magazine. And we pray that you will bless each and every man and woman and family represented here today. And when we leave here, may we leave knowing we are part of a Long Island community, able to honor those who have honored us by their lives. We ask you to bless the Networking magazine, Christine Conniff-Sheehan, her staff, and all those who co-labor with her, as she has worked to honor all of us and recognize the contributions of not-for-profit corporations. She's also given us the best of herself. Now, bless, we pray, this occasion and this food to our health, and our health to your service and to the service of others. In our Lord's name, amen.
It's because of the generous support of our presenting partner, Bank of America, that Networking is enabled to recognize the David Awards honorees. Please welcome Robert Isaacson, President, Long Island Market, Bank of America.
Thank you, Adrian, and good morning, everyone. Bank of America is honored to be the presenting sponsor of the 9th Annual David Awards Breakfast. Today, we celebrate 8 men that are dedicated to the Long Island community and recognize them for their outstanding work and achievements. Bank of America has partnered with Networking magazine for the past 7 years to host this breakfast and recognize such individuals for their contributions to Long Island. We congratulate Christine Conniff-Sheehan and wish her staff continued success for a tremendous event. On behalf of Bank of America, I'd truly like to congratulate today's honorees. It's a special day, and I hope all enjoy your time here.
To introduce our first David Award honoree, Anthony A. Albanese, chairman of the Albanese Organization, we are so pleased to have his daughter, Tony Albanese.
Thank you, Dr. O'Brien. When Anthony Albanese was 20 years old, he saw an empty lot in his neighborhood and decided to build a house. He didn't have any money or experience, but what he had was a vision for how to improve his community. From there, Anthony went on to build many homes and buildings, always with the goal of enhancing the community and the environment. When people started talking about sick buildings and greenhouse gases, the Albanese Organization, inspired by Anthony's example, made a commitment to find innovative solutions to develop buildings that are healthier for residents and reduce the impact on the environment. With Russell Albanese as president and Christopher Albanese a principal, they have become the leaders in sustainable development. They have constructed 3 residential buildings in Manhattan, the Solaire, the Verdesian, and the Visionaire, which are the first buildings in the country to earn gold and platinum LEED ratings. By setting new standards in the industry, they have inspired other developers to build environmentally responsible buildings. Anthony has also generously dedicated his time and expertise to participating in community activities and assisting numerous nonprofit organizations, including 20 years on the board of St. Francis Hospital. But it is not just Anthony's accomplishments and contributions to the community that make him a Renaissance man. It is also the man behind the accomplishments. This is a man of tremendous integrity and compassion, who is a devoted husband, father, and grandfather, and he has always given his undivided attention to his family. He is also devoted to all the people who work for his organization, whom he considers his second family. In sum, whether you look at his accomplishments or his personal life, Anthony Albanese is a man who is an inspiration to us all and truly a Renaissance man. I am honored to present your honoree and my father, Anthony Albanese.
Thank you, Tony. I am honored to be one of the recipients of the David Awards. I want to express my gratitude to Christine. The recognition is especially meaningful because networking is an organization which inspires the businessmen and women of Long Island to be more community-minded and environmentally responsible. I want to congratulate the 7 other being honored today, and it's my privilege to be considered as one of them. I also like to thank the people who have been my inspiration. My son Russell, president of our firm, and who motivated us to focus on green development. My brothers, my nephews, development. My nephew Christopher Albanese and Russell Matthews. My brothers Vincent and Joseph, and my sister Mary Matthews, and many devoted men and women of our organization. A special thank to you, Frank Castagna, a dear friend and partner, including Long Island's first green office building. And my 3 daughters, Debbie, Tony, and Elena, and finally, my greatest inspiration of all, my beautiful wife, Annette. Thank you very much.
And now Rosalind Goldmacher, a member of the David Awards Committee, President and CEO of the Long Island Development Corporation, Greater New York Development Company, will introduce the founder and managing partner of Cameron Engineering and Associates, John D. Cameron, Jr., our next honoree. Roz?
Thank you, Adrian. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce the next David Award nominee, John Cameron, founder and managing partner of Cameron Engineering. You can read John's extensive bio in your networking magazines that you have received today. My job today is to show you how John clearly epitomizes the spirit of the David Awards, from his ability to overcome adversity to his diverse interests and talents. When the offices of John's fledgling engineering firm burned to the ground 25 plus years ago, and John was left with just the papers in his briefcase, another man might have thrown in the towel. But our David, John, looked at the Goliath-like task of rebuilding as a welcome challenge. Days later, he was back in business in borrowed offices with new hires and a continuing commitment to building his business into the force that it is today, a prominent, multidisciplined engineering firm with 60-plus staff, providing multiple planning and engineering services for municipal and private clients around the world, ranging from planning to electrical engineering, mechanical, structural, civil engineering, in numerous fields, including security, transportation, traffic, environmental, water, wastewater, solid waste management, landscape architecture, and construction management. The list goes on and on. Just like David, John has never looked at life's challenges as impediments, but as opportunities. As a first-generation American coming from humble working-class beginnings, John sought to improve his skills and get the education he needed to succeed. And so he has thrived on participating in firsts and building on opportunities, becoming the first plant manager for a resource recovery plant, creating numerous recycling technologies for which he holds U.S. patents, even setting high jump records in high school and college. Beyond representing the David taking on Goliath aspects of our award today, John Cameron also represents the other David, the Renaissance man. John is truly a modern Renaissance man. He is an entrepreneur building a successful Long Island business from scratch. He is a world traveler, having visited over 30 countries. He is a lover of art and music. He even started taking guitar lessons at age 40. But he does admit that he had to give it up because he only practiced during the lessons. And John is a serial philanthropist, actively leading, participating in, and contributing to causes ranging from the Long Island Regional Planning Council, which he chairs, to being past president and Hall of Famer in the New York Water Environmental Association, to being vice chair of the SUNY Old Westbury Foundation, and of course, being a major part of many religious entities, such as Legatus, a business and religious organization of Catholic CEOs. John is also a sports enthusiast. He is a lifelong avid surfer. In fact, he just had his 7th orthopedic surgery a couple of weeks ago. It was due to a tendon torn while surfing this fall. Those who know John might say his surfing injuries are due to problems related to rough surf. But his wife says the problem for this surfer dude is above the neck. In any case, a series of photographs that I saw displayed in John's office put his qualities in perspective for me, truly demonstrating how much he deserves this particular award. First, there's the picture of John and his wonderful family, wife, daughter, son, and brand new daughter-in-law. Second is the picture of John kissing the ring of Pope John Paul II. And third is the picture of John Cameron, the Bat Boy, excitedly shaking the hand of Mickey Mantle. Diverse multiple interests, entrepreneurial spirit, deep commitment to his family and religious beliefs and faith, and of course, an enduring commitment to his community. John deems himself a very blessed person with deep religious values and a big love of Long Island. And John has demonstrated these beliefs and values with his continuing work to improve our island. For all these reasons, it is my privilege and honor to introduce David awardee John D. Cameron, Jr.
Thank you so much, Roz, for your very kind and humbling remarks. First of all, I'd like to thank Christine Sheehan and the committee for my selection as recipient of this very distinguished honor. I'd also like to congratulate Christine on your 20 years of serving the nonprofit community here on Long Island. I'd like to also congratulate my fellow David honorees. I am truly humbled to be part of such esteemed company. When Michelangelo created the David over 500 years ago, he spent 2.5 years toiling over this special work and in sculpting what he had hoped would serve as the inspiration to the people of the city of Florence in fighting off the Goliath of aggression and oppression of the neighboring cities. Today here on Long Island, our Goliaths are known by other names, such as indifference, apathy, prejudice, and even racism. To all those Davids and Dianes, and yes, Dianes, who spend much of their lives fighting these Goliaths, I salute you and I accept this award on your behalf. Lastly, I thank my wife, Loretta, of 37 years. She doesn't like me to say that. People could do the math. My son and his new bride, Colleen. My daughter is doing her civic duty today, serving on a jury in Manhattan. My fellow business partners and associates and dear friends. And mostly and most importantly, I give thanks to Almighty God, without whose infinite blessings I would have nothing, and frankly, I would be nothing. I thank you very much for this honor. Thank you.
We're happy to have with us the former executive director of the Long Island Community Foundation, Susie Sonnenberg, to present our next honoree, Lawrence E. Davidow, managing partner at Davidow, Siegel & Stern. Susie?
Thank you, Adrian. Okay, so if you read the profile in Networking Magazine, then you already know that Lawrence, affectionately known as Not Larry Davidow, is the managing partner of Davidow, Siegel & Stern, a firm that was founded 100 years ago by his grandfather and later run by his father and uncle. Within 6 years of joining that firm in 1986, Lawrence had redirected it into one of the most successful, actually one of the first and most successful elder law, special needs, estate and business planning practices on Long Island. And this is important because we're here to honor men who excel in business or in academics, but as you've heard from everyone, the David Award celebrates Renaissance men. And a Renaissance man has to excel in many fields. So let me tell you a little bit more about Lawrence. In addition to being really good at helping people to plan for the future and protect their assets, he is a terrific marketer and an extraordinary entertainer. If you've never attended one of Lawrence's seminars, you are seriously missing one of the best performances on Long Island. On a personal level, he is intensely engaged in everything he undertakes, from being a loving and deeply involved father to his 3 children, to being a passionate and knowledgeable Yankees fan, to qualifying as a bona fide foodie who will be ecstatic over finding a particular vinegar or an unusual truffle, and who has taught himself how to cook at a fairly high level. But what I know best about Lawrence is that he has a huge heart, and Networking's David Award is primarily about the spirit of giving. Lawrence has spent years publishing articles, distributing literature, offering those entertaining seminars to educate senior citizens across Long Island. And he does this all without charging a fee and in collaboration with a broad number of nonprofit organizations. It was actually because of this work that I first met Lawrence in 1995, before I qualified as a senior citizen, when I was director of the Long Island Community Foundation, and he was introduced to me as a potential board member. So the Community Foundation gives away about $10 million a year to address a broad range of issues, and the money comes from individuals, families, businesses, and other foundations looking for an easy and effective way to do charitable giving. In order to be a board member of the Long Island Community Foundation, you have to be a quick study, able to absorb a lot of information in a short time, have great compassion, but also the ability to make tough choices. When Lawrence joined the board at the beginning of 1996, there were many nonprofit and community issues with which he had had no prior experience. But he quickly climbed that learning curve and for 14 years has been an active and committed board member, even setting up a charitable fund of his own within the foundation, the Davidow Elderly Community Assistance Fund, fondly known by its acronym as the DCAF Fund. He is now in his third and final year as chairman of the foundation board. Along the way, Lawrence became first my mother's attorney, then mine and my husband's, and finally a dear friend. I am very proud to have the honor of introducing you to this Renaissance man, Lawrence Davidow.
Hello, everyone. Is everybody having a good time? Isn't this fun? Susie, thank you very much for your kind words and for coming out of retirement to say some nice things. I got this call about this David Award, and I guess there was a little misunderstanding because I just said, thank you. Yes, I have been working out. But then I got it. I got it, and it's such a great honor, and I'm a little embarrassed because you know what? I just love what I do, and to be getting an award for just doing what I love to do, I think is a pretty neat thing. I just love working with the not-for-profits on Long Island, and I especially love working with the elderly. The elderly are cool. They're different. They see things a little bit differently than the rest of us. And I learned this really from a client of mine. He was a 95-year-old man, and he came to my office, and he told me the story that he was walking in the park one day, and he came across a frog. And the frog said to the 95-year-old man, "Hey, mister, if you pick me up and kiss me, I promise I'll turn into a beautiful princess, and we'll make mad, passionate love together." The 95-year-old man had a twinkle in his eye, and he picked up that frog, and he put the frog in his pocket. And from the pocket, the frog says to the 95-year-old man, "Didn't you hear me? If you pick me up and kiss me, I promise I'll turn into a beautiful princess, and we'll make mad, passionate love together." Well, the 95-year-old man said to the frog in his pocket and said, "Frog, to be perfectly honest with you, at my age, I'd rather have a talking frog." Seniors see things a little bit differently than the rest of us. It's an honor to be up here with all these extraordinary people, the sponsors and these other David Award people. You've really done some extraordinary things. I am glad that there are more Yankee fans than Red Sox fans. All right, let it go. All right. But the real award tonight, or this morning, goes to Networking Magazine, whose work with philanthropy and in promoting women and promoting green technology and promoting our business community has just been extraordinary. You do extraordinary work for our Long Island community. I love Long Island, and I love being part of today. Thank you very much, everyone.
To tell us about Dr. Sean A. Finelli, President Emeritus, Nassau Community College, may I present Yvette Beckett-Tuggle, Director of the Business Development Unit of Nassau County Office of Economic Development. Yvette.
Thank you, Adrian, and good morning. It is my distinct privilege to present this next David Award to a man who embodies the principles of leadership that I most admire, that of humility, justice to all, and a passion for what he does. Of course, I am speaking of Dr. Sean Finelli, President Emeritus of Nassau Community College. You can read about his bio in Networking Magazine, and I hope that you do. However, I want to take this time to embellish on a life that he has fashioned that may give you some deeper insight into this Renaissance man. One of the greatest things a leader can do, in my opinion, is to serve with humility. And Dr. Finelli does that so well. He is a humble man, and a man who first and foremost loves God. He takes his religion seriously. In fact, many years ago, he actually considered becoming a priest. No one has questioned the integrity of this man as an educator, a leader in higher education, and a champion for academic freedom, a legacy he has passionately fought for, in which he has earned numerous accolades. He is, in fact, one of the longest tenured presidents in the SUNY system and the longest serving college president of a Long Island higher education institution. A staunch protector and defender of the community college, which, among other things, makes higher education more affordable, more accessible, and available to many different people. Under his leadership, the paradigm shifted from the college of last choice to the college of first choice with many students. He is passionate about giving opportunities to all students, in particular, students of diverse backgrounds, and this passion is put to action by reaching out to the greater business community to embrace and enrich them. He works hard. Some say he's a bit of a workaholic, but he also finds the time to play a round of golf, I understand, which he absolutely enjoys. And he has a sense of humor. A great kidder, he is known among his colleagues to tell a good joke or two. Most of all, he adores his family. His wife, he affectionately calls Missy, and their beautiful children and grandchildren who reflect the multicultural fabric that he has made his life. It is an honor for me to present to you this next David Award honoree, Dr. Sean Finelli.
Thank you very much, Yvette. Receiving the David Award is certainly a very, very special honor for a number of reasons. First, I am joined by 7 persons that I think are certainly worthy of the award. Secondly, to be given the award by Networking Magazine makes it especially an honor that I will cherish. And third, when I first came to the Nassau community some 27 years ago as its president, I had the very, very good fortune of meeting David Salton. And David became my mentor, and we would meet and chat and talk about things in general, but more especially, he gave me a sense of the community and what it needed and how Nassau Community College could meet that need. He became a special friend and certainly one that I miss. The last reason is that this award gives me the opportunity to speak about leadership. I heard Yvette use that word. Leaders, visionary people, are only as good as the people who follow that vision, people who really do the work. And today it gives me the opportunity to celebrate the work of the Board of Trustees at Nassau Community College, the administration, my administrative team, the faculty, and the staff. They're the ones that have helped really to provide to the community low-cost, high-quality, affordable education to our residents, but more importantly, to make a difference in the community. And so on behalf of the Nassau Community College administration, Board of Trustees, faculty, and staff, thank you for honoring us.
Thank you so much, Sean. To introduce our next honoree, Dr. Martin S. Carpe, Chairman of the Department of Surgery at Beth Israel Medical Center, we are pleased to have from the Department of Surgery at Stony Brook University Medical Center, Barbara Smith.
Good morning. For 4 intriguing and eventful years, I had the privilege of working with Dr. Martin Carpe during his tenure at Stony Brook. He came to us with an already very impressive array of credentials. As a board-certified surgeon with training at the University of Pennsylvania, Dr. Carpe completed a fellowship in surgical oncology at Memorial Sloan Kettering, where he spent the next 12 years as an attending. As a result of his work there, he became internationally known for his expertise in the treatment of cancers of the stomach and esophagus, having authored numerous papers, journal articles, book chapters, and abstracts. For all these reasons, Stony Brook actively recruited Dr. Carpe in 2003 to develop and direct Stony Brook's new cancer center and to be our new chief of surgical oncology. His ability to see the big picture, have a vision, and make things happen contributed greatly to our now having a world-class cancer center. Currently, Dr. Carpe is chairman of the Department of Surgery at Beth Israel Medical Center and serves as president of the New York Cancer Society and is a member of a whole slew of professional organizations that are too numerous to discuss in this 2-minute talk. But I know Dr. Carpe best as the hands-on surgeon whose patients always come first. Dr. Carpe may have had meetings galore, yet not once did I ever see him rush with patients or their families. Meetings had to wait. To our patients, Dr. Carpe showed compassion and conveyed hope always. The hopefulness he instilled translated into our patients' desire to improve and go on, adding much to their quality of life. In our world, things don't always go well, but there was always compassion and there was always empathy. Dr. Carpe's knowledge, personality, and work ethic spilled over to our entire staff, from medical students, residents, nursing staff, social workers, and faculty. Everybody with whom he came in contact. Medical students and residents clamored to assist in his OR, knowing they would be taught skills needed to be our future surgeons. In gratitude, several graduating classes chose to honor Dr. Carpe with their annual teaching award. I'll always remember my first clinic day with Dr. Carpe. At the end of that first day of working with this man, I was exhausted. I casually asked our clerk, "What just happened here? Whew." And her response was, "You've just been Carpe'd." Yet I couldn't wait to do it again the next day. It was at that moment I learned how high the standard had just been set. He was our role model, our coach, and our cheerleader, drawing the best from everyone in an effort to deliver the most complete and the most compassionate care possible. That's how I know Dr. Carpe. But some of you likely know him better for his work with Fighting Chance, an organization that promotes free services for cancer patients living on the East End, or the Witness Project, a breast health and breast cancer education program that reaches out to women in African American communities on Long Island. Even when original funding for the project ran out, Dr. Carpe brought his entire staff into the community to champion the program and made sure that funding was available. His outreach continues with the Navigator program at Harlem Hospital, bringing breast cancer treatment to individuals in the surrounding area. Where he gets the time, I have no idea. But let me end with this. There's another side to Dr. Carpe that not everyone gets to see. Days where Dr. Carpe steps out of his academic and professional world and proves to us all that even dedication and charity can be fun. He good-naturedly allowed himself more than once to be coerced into parading the runway at our annual fashion show to raise money for breast cancer research. Catcalls, whistling, everything. Now just imagine the same man here now, meticulously dressed, sitting on a small wooden platform, challenging kids with cancer to throw baseballs at a target that would unceremoniously drop him into a tank of cold water. It's called Dunk-a-Doc, and it's one of the events at Cancer Survivors Day at Stony Brook. Actually, his son gets a little credit here because he took his turn in the dunking tank too. So for all of these reasons, I'm honored to present Dr. Carpe and feel he's so worthy of this David Award.
Good morning, and thank you. And thank you, Barbara, for those very, very kind words. I am also quite honored to be here today and to share the dais with these 7 outstanding gentlemen. The David Award is quite an honor, and I congratulate Christine Sheehan and Networking Magazine for all the outstanding work they've done here on Long Island. I have had the opportunity, and I've been quite blessed in my career to be taught by a number of outstanding surgeons, and to have had some outstanding experiences in my training. And I'd like to thank Stony Brook University for the opportunity to bring some of those talents and lessons here to help in the development of the Cancer Center. Developing a cancer center here on Long Island it has been and continues to be a major mission to the citizens of Long Island, where unfortunately there is an increased incidence of cancer in the United States, or relative to the rest of the United States here on Long Island. So to be able to have that care and those services here right in your backyard is certainly a goal, and a goal that I think Stony Brook has accomplished. Again, I would not be here today if it weren't for the outstanding support and dedication and love that I've received from my wife and family. Being a surgeon and being dedicated to taking care of patients takes a lot of time, and many times you're not there for the family. Excuse me. But I just want to take the time to acknowledge my family for their support. Without taking up too much more time this morning, I do again want to thank the David Award, the Networking Magazine, and all the other honorees for their dedication to Long Island, and I'm certainly proud to be among them and to be a resident here on Long Island. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Carpe. We're pleased to have with us the Vice President for Development and Communications of St. Mary's Healthcare System for Children, Jan Matan, to tell us about our next honoree, Vincent L. Riso, Principal, the Briarwood Organization. Jan?
Thank you so much. Good morning. It gives me great pleasure this morning to be here to introduce Vincent L. Riso. Vinny is a respected and accomplished developer with an impressive list of credits as the principal of the Briarwood Organization. Briarwood, a family-run business for nearly a century, has constructed thousands of residential units and thousands of square feet of commercial space. Throughout his career, Vinny has been committed to providing quality housing and buildings in safe communities, environments in which families can flourish and children can feel safe and secure. So it was only natural that Vinny was drawn to St. Mary's Healthcare System for Children, an organization with a long history of caring for children with special health care needs, whether it is in their home or in our hospital, We care for children on Long Island, as well as the entire New York metropolitan area. Vinny first came to St. Mary's in the early 1960s as a young member of the Lions Club. The Lions Club members came to cut the children's hair. Well, Vinny has since retired his scissors, but St. Mary's is so fortunate to have him serve as a member of our board of directors. Vinny has a heart of gold and has a driving passion to make a difference in the lives of the children and the families that we serve. To Vinny and his lovely family, Sophie, thank you so much for being a champion for those thousands of children that we care for each day. It is now an honor and a privilege to introduce to you David awardee and a true Renaissance man, Vincent L. Risso.
Good morning, everyone. It's my honor and privilege to be here this morning, to be picked as one of the 8 honorees is a tremendous thing for me. I wanted to thank Christine and the Networking magazine for all the good things they do here on Long Island. I've known her and her husband going back 20 or so years. I would like to recognize my partners, my brother Ray, my nephew Jim, my partner Howard Goodman. We have been together for many, many years. Notwithstanding the fact that Jan mentioned our organization is almost 100 years old, contrary to the rumor, I am not the founder of this organization. I wanted to especially thank my lovely wife, Sophie, for allowing me to do what I do, whatever that is. It takes a lot of time away from her. And I'd also like to thank my children, Daria and Lonnie. I want to thank God, most importantly, for the gift that He's given me. Fresh out of the service in the early 50s, I set a goal for our organization. That goal was to complete $100,000 worth of business in our first year. I made it. My connection, however, with St. Mary's really anchored my life. As a member of the Lions Club, I went to St. Mary's to cut hair. I was one of 2 people that went in there, and when I left, the Sisters of St. Mary, who then ran the organization, banned me forever from coming back with a pair of scissors. The job that I did was unbelievably bad. I give my thanks to St. Mary for the education that it has given me. Thank you again.
To introduce Stony Brook University Medical Center's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Stephen L. Strongwater, we have a David Awards committee member and legislative aide from the office of Legislator Lynn Noack, Susan Eckert. Susan?
Good morning, and thank you, Adrian, and thank you all for coming. I would also like to congratulate all of the David honorees, present and past. It was my sincere pleasure to nominate Dr. Stephen Strongwater for this prestigious award, and needless to say, I was thrilled when he accepted. I believe that Dr. Strongwater is a true Renaissance man. He has had a multifaceted career of continuous achievement as a professor, physician, and administrator. And since January of 2007, he has served Long Island as the dedicated, innovative, and compassionate CEO of Stony Brook University Medical Center. Under his leadership, some of his accomplishments include a new cancer center, a pediatric emergency department, an electronic patient record-keeping system, a smoke-free building and campus, as well as implementing energy and environmentally designed programs. Dr. Strongwater is also involved with the Rotary's Gift of Life program, and in 2009 chaired the American Heart Association's Walk on the Stony Brook campus. Last year, I had the opportunity to become familiar with Dr. Strongwater's work and his staff at the medical center. He enthusiastically supported the medical center's participating in a special event, a one-day community take-back of unwanted medications developed by my boss, Suffolk County legislator Lynn Noack. Dr. Strongwater was personally involved and asked staff from a variety of departments to assist in planning and holding this program. It was an extremely successful event and has been replicated by other groups. Having attended several meetings at the hospital, I have seen firsthand that Dr. Strongwater's commitment to patient care and satisfaction is unwavering, and that his respect for his staff is unchallenged. There is a wonderful article about Dr. Strongwater in this month's issue of Networking Magazine, which can be found in your gift bag. I could go on, but because of the time allotment, I'll let you read that article. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Stephen Strongwater.
Well, thank you and good morning. Normally, I say when I'm introduced giving a talk and I get this background that my mother would be so happy to hear that introduction, and actually today my mom is here. And so I thank you, Mom, for all that you've made possible in my life. She is a true New Yorker. And most definitely not a Red Sox fan. I too am honored, and I want to congratulate the other David awardees today. I think that Network Magazine should be congratulated. When I think of a David Award, I actually think of Michelangelo. We had the privilege of actually seeing the David in Italy. And he is an amazing sculptor. I don't know how many of you have ever had the privilege of seeing some of his sculpting. And when I think about Long Island, I think about all the things that we are trying to do, and that is that we are trying to sculpt a whole region of the country, an important region of the country for all of us and for our children. And I am particularly honored to receive this award, really not on my behalf, but on behalf of Stony Brook University and Stony Brook University Medical Center, because that's what we are all about. We are about building a future and building the quality of life for the people here on Long Island. Everything that we do will leave a legacy for our children and the people who are here. We spend an awful lot of time in the press really focused on terrible things, sensational things, and this morning reminds me how we have the opportunity to celebrate all the good things and the many contributions that people are making to this community, which is so vital and so important. So really, on behalf of Stony Brook University, and I want to also thank the president who's taken the time, Dr. Sam Stanley, who's our new president, to join us here. I want to thank you all, and I really do want to tell you one last thing, that behind every David there has to be a First Lady or a Diana. And of course there is, actually there's more than one behind me. First, of course, my wife, Elaine, who's here this morning, and thank you. But unsung heroes, there are people who actually run my life and who weave together the patchwork that's so necessary for all the things that I'm involved in, and that's Janine Maniscalco and Terry Hagel, who are both here this morning, and I want to recognize you both. Now, there's nothing like having family and friends. There really is absolutely nothing, especially to bring you down to earth. So when I told my family that I was getting this David Award and I brought home the magazine, they really did not have any interest at all in the award that I was going to receive. All they really cared about was that I might sit next to Mo Vaughn. Thank you all so very much.
And batting in cleanup position to present our last David Award recipient, the co-founder of Omni New York and American League Most Valuable Player, Maurice Mo Vaughn. Let's welcome the Nassau County Director of Housing and Homeless Services, Connie Lissandro. Connie.
Thank you, and good morning. First, I want to really thank Christine for everything she has done for all of us here on Long Island, and my congratulations to all the Renaissance men that were awarded here this morning. And it really is a great honor and privilege to introduce Mo Vaughn as a Renaissance man. He is relatively young and has had much notoriety in baseball, better known for his Red Sox and Angels, but I would like to say that he's a New York Met, and he's one of us. He, could have very well retired and enjoyed a very luxury life and just enjoyed himself doing nothing. But he chose the path of helping those and providing for affordable housing. And most of us, when we think of affordable housing, we think of new construction. We need new units. And yes, we do. But Mo has taken on the old housing stock in our state, and particularly in Nassau County. And he is really focused on the revitalization of communities. And I first started working with them, and I really had no knowledge of the company. It came to me, and Omni New York, and he's co-founder with a great team. It's probably the best team he's got. And what they did is they started in Rockville Center. And it's amazing because what he's done is he doesn't even relocate people. He actually rehabs their units, keeps them there, and really provides for decent, safe housing for those that need it the most. So he did this in Rockville Center. Then he moved on to Park Lake in Hempstead. And then very jokingly, I said to him one day, I said, gee, I have a development that, you really should kind of look at. And I whispered the name of the area, Bedell Terrace in Hempstead. He says, you got to be kidding me. He said, that's really bad. And I said, yeah, but I said, I think you're up for the challenge. And he kind of pretended he didn't hear me. And obviously he did listen, because this past September, Omni purchased Bedell Terrace, 240 units, that is going to be completely revitalized. And not only that, there's been for 2 years 80 empty units. 80 units that are so needed, and they are going to provide for housing for those that are most vulnerable in our community and so much in need of affordable housing. And not only has he done this, and yes, it's a profit company, but there's compassion behind it. And he has always been very involved. He could very well just be the name behind a company, but he's not. What he does is he gets out there, he knows his tenants, he talks to them, he's really visible. And he's cleaned up, a lot of areas, not only in Nassau, where he's really been responsible for now over 700 units, and throughout the state. And he's really been a partner. We look forward to working with him for many more years. He's got a compassion for children. He's always looking to do something for those that are in need. He's been a supporter of the Hempstead Boys and Girls Club. So he's truly come into a community, and he really makes his mark, and he stays there, and his presence is so well known. He's very caring. In fact, I think probably, I don't think I've ever heard him say no. I'm sure he has, but I haven't heard it. And it's really with, great honor that I present to you Mo Vaughn, our Renaissance man.
Good morning. I always say that nobody comes out, whatever time it is, whether it be early morning, afternoon, or night, better than Nassau County. So you guys really support yourselves, and you should be applauded for it. I want to congratulate all the honorees of the David Award. It's a very, very prestigious award, and to be getting this award with you, I feel very, very privileged. The Network Magazine, I am very, very appreciative of this honor also. I would like to thank Connie Lysandra. She has been the catalyst of Omni New York coming into your community. Connie, we would never be in this position doing the things we're doing without your help, and I think everybody at Omni wants to say thank you to you for that. I would also like to thank Nassau County. As Connie said, we have over 700 units in Nassau. You have been very, very nice to us, and we appreciate you letting us in here. And hopefully we can continue to do some things in the future. To get this award, you need help. I'm not standing up here alone. I have a great team around me. Number one, my partner, Eugene Schnur, who I think deserves all the accolades and all the prestige for what he does, has been very, very instrumental in all this. And I couldn't be anywhere without him. And he's sitting there at table 25. I also want to thank everybody at table 25 for coming by, from the Omni team, getting up here and supporting me. I really do appreciate everybody over there. I've been very, very lucky. I had a 12-year Major League Baseball career. I parlayed that into an affordable housing career. And to be able to have success in both walks of life, I feel very, very fortunate to do that. Some people get up and go to work and don't even like the one thing that they're doing. For me to be able to have two things is tremendous. I always try to find out and always try to figure out what are the key points to affordable housing? What are the key points to what I'm doing? And I could just say it and sum it up as this. After we have come in to a new property and done our rehab, and upon completion, I think the greatest thing that keeps myself, my partner, and the staff going is a tenant coming up and saying, thank you for providing a quality place to live and a quality of life. And I think for me, as long as we continue to hear that, we can go forward and do a great thing here in New York State and definitely here in Nassau County. Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the end now. I want to draw your attention to your program of the morning. It's in your gift bag. It's the January issue of Networking. Subscriptions to networking would be greatly appreciated. In this era of internet where print communication is seriously declining, writers are using the internet, networking is in print. Circulation is extremely important. So in your firm, in your organization, it would be very good if you're not familiar with it. It's got great coverage. And also, although the presenters did a marvelous job of telling us about all of the honorees, Maureen Trexler's bios of each are in detail and would be an excellent read. And I give you, for closing remarks, Christine Kenneth Shahan.
Thank you so much for coming. I just am thrilled, and it was a beautiful breakfast as far as I'm concerned. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Wonderful honorees. I want to thank Bank of America, of course, for being our presentive partner for the David Awards. And then my husband, Dennis Shahan, who publishes House Magazine. And without his help and assistance, he gives emotional support, advertorial support, advertising support, and the price is right. Gosh, you're adorable. Thank you. Would you stand up, Dennis? You deserve a hand. Thank you, darling. Now, I've gotten my name has been mentioned a lot of accolades this morning, but who does the people that work on our staff that are so wonderful? Miranda Gatewood, Monica Tarr, I'm going to, Kathy Hummel, wait a minute, help me here. Sally Gilhooly, no wait, I'm not through yet. And Ann McDonald. That's, any more? This team we've been together for a long time, and boy, they are good. They've been working their little fingers to the bone, and everybody has been doing a beautiful job. They put it all together, and I want to thank them very, very much. In a minute, almost done. Mark Seratoff, who does the beautiful keyboard every year. It's such a pleasure to have him. Those of you who heard him play, he's beautiful. He does a beautiful job. And the Crest Hollow Country Club, who always serve a beautiful, beautiful breakfast. And Design Audiovisual, who does the great work on with the screens and the videotaping. So thank you all very, very much. I appreciate you for coming, and have a lovely day. Thank you.